welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Anna, a clinical psychology doctoral intern. Today we're going to be talking about what's different between couples who maintain progress made in couples therapy and those who don't. So research has shown that following couples therapy, there's a group of couples that tend to maintain the progress they've made, and then there's a group of couples that don't so much. So what do you think is the difference between these two groups? It's kind of hard to guess, so I'm curious to see if any of you can get it in the comments. So press pause, do whatever you need to do if you want to guess what it might be. The thing that distinguishes couples that maintain progress versus couples that don't is something called the stress-reducing conversation. Couples who maintain progress have found a way to support each other day to day, to externalize the problem outside of the couple, say this is the problem out here, not within us, to act as a team and just generally reduce each other's stress. It's pretty simple. It's basically a conversation in which one partner vents about something and the other person provides reflective, active listening and just supports them. So it's an alternation, right? One person starts, talks about their day, other person listens, provides support, and then they switch. So the person that starts out by venting, they're talking about what's going on, what happened at work that stressed them out, what's going on with their parents that's worrying them. Other person just listens. They're just actively listening. They're nodding, they're paying attention, they're being involved, but they are just trying to empathize with that person's experience. They might try to paraphrase what's going on. They might say, oh, so if I'm understanding this correctly, you told your boss that you're not taking the title change, and then that afternoon he was passive-aggressive at the meeting. Is that correct? And if you're not sure how to paraphrase, you want to express some curiosity about it. You want to ask clarifying questions like, am I getting this right? Or like, hey, I'm not quite sure I understand this piece of it. Or can you help me understand what's just not clicking for me? Be genuinely curious so that you can actually understand what the person's trying to communicate, not just act like you do. You can also ask questions like, what can I do to help? What would make you feel supported right now? Why do you think this is upsetting you so much? How does it feel to go through this? Ask questions that make it clear that you're actively listening and trying to help. You want to also be showing interest. You can say, oh my God, he said what to you? Or just acting really involved in their life, acting like it's part of your life too, because it is. If you're a team, what's going on for your partner is also happening for you. Definitely express empathy. Say, if I were in your shoes, I would feel so terrible about this. I'm so mad for you. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. And this is really important. You want to be siding with your partner, not the enemy. Now, I know some people out there in my personal life who would say, we don't have enemies. There's no such thing as an enemy. That is not good for a relationship. If you make it known that, oh, there's no bad guy here, let me play devil's advocate here, so it's in your best interest that maybe you're missing something, you are essentially saying that your partner is the enemy. You're saying you're the problem, not this other person that is making your life difficult. I think that you are always the one causing these problems. So don't side with the enemy, side with your partner. Don't make the enemy out to be your partner. That is the worst thing you can do. Do provide comfort and affection. Be warm, hold their hand, give them back rubs, whatever it takes to soothe them. This is also really important. Don't try to solve the problem for them. People think that, okay, if I try to solve this problem, then it's going to improve the situation. My partner is going to be so grateful. What actually ends up happening is that your partner becomes resentful because they feel like it's condescending, like they can't be the one to solve the problem themselves, so you have to kind of swoop in and save the day. Now, it's okay to ask, hey, do you want suggestions? Do you want help brainstorming where to move forward from here? That's perfectly fine if they say yes to that, but make it the very last resort and make sure that you're asking if this is what would be helpful to them. Because some people are very solution focused. They do want that sort of brainstorming. But most people just want to vent. They just want to be heard and supported, and it's okay to just provide that and not try to fix things for them. It's okay to see your partner in distress. The best thing you can do if you see them in distress is to have this conversation with them, not to try to solve the problem. And then, of course, if your partner wants to, offer to find a solution together. Again, working as a team. What not to do during the stress-reducing conversation? Be inattentive and unresponsive. Don't do that. Don't be swiping on your phone. Don't be clearly not paying attention, asking questions that make it clear you're not listening. not being genuinely interested and curious about what they're telling you, really try to get into it. Understand that it is in the best interest of your relationship and therefore yourself to actually be involved. Don't get defensive. It doesn't concern you. Certainly there's no reason to get defensive, but also don't make the situation worse. Don't get heated for your partner in a way that's going to just make them more upset. You can get heated in an empathic way, but not in a way that's going to add more problems on top of it. Like if they're talking about a coworker going on a tangent about how you can't stand this person who's their friend. Don't criticize your partner. Another really important one. Again, don't want to side with the enemy. You want to be siding with them. You don't want to be playing devil's advocate. You don't want to be giving the impression that you're doing things wrong. This is actually your fault. Instead, you want to be empathizing and supporting. And don't invalidate their emotions. Now, look, sometimes emotions aren't valid in the sense that they don't fit the facts of the situation, but that doesn't mean that a person doesn't have a right to feel them. It just means maybe they don't fit the facts of the situation, but they still feel the way that they do. So you can absolutely say, I can tell you're really angry about this. I can tell this really makes you sad. I'm hearing how hurt you are in your voice and your mannerisms. You can still say that without technically validating why they're upset. You can still validate the emotion without validating the reason for it. And then, of course, switch. You have the stress-reducing conversation and they listen and support you. It cannot be one-sided, guys. Of course, it cannot be where one person is constantly coming home and venting about their problems and the other person is always the one in the caregiver role and never the one to receive the support. A little anecdote to illustrate this. So when I was younger, I didn't really understand active listening. I wasn't a very good listener. I was always talking about myself. I started to learn those skills and I became very preoccupied with how can I be as supportive to the other person in any conversation where it's almost never about me. If they ask about me, I throw it right back because people really enjoy that. They like to talk about themselves. And it puts you in a position of charisma because, they're feeling positively towards you. You're not just talking about yourself all the time. And in most cases, when I do this with people, there's always a moment after which they try to switch that stress-reducing conversation. And they try to say, what about you? What's been going on in your life? How's work? How's school? How's this? How's that? But once upon a time, I was having this conversation with someone. And I noticed that moment never came. They never did switch and ask me about my own life. They were perfectly content only ever talking about their own life. So be very careful not to become that person in your relationship, to always be the one receiving the support and never the one providing the support. Make sure that it's even. So what happens if you don't have the stress-reducing conversation in your relationship? For starters, stress builds. They have nowhere to share it, and therefore it's going to start to seep into your relationship because they're getting stressed, you're getting stressed, and it's building until an argument breaks out. You're also not operating as a team. You're not supporting each other against an external problem. And in a lot of cases, your partner is still going to need that support from somewhere. So maybe they're going to get it from somewhere else. Maybe they're going to find themselves a work husband or a work wife, or they're going to lean really heavily on their mom. And you're not going to be that point person that gets to reduce their stress that they're going to in turn feel positively about. That's how emotional affairs start. That's how the team starts to disintegrate in the couple. So what did you think about the video? Did you guess correctly what the thing was that couples who maintain progress do? If you do like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and also the bell notification button so that you can be notified about every video I post, usually about once a week, Monday mornings. So comment down below what other video topics you'd like me to cover. Have a great day. Bye.